Welcome to the Kombat Kast, Friday the 13th edition. Huh?
Yeah,
Was that good?
I get it.
You get what I did there?
I see what you did there.
So what I did with this, you see, we just announced today with the first character with the Kombat Pass is Jason Voorhees. Very excited about that. Sean?
Yeah, Jason Voorhees comes with, of course, there'll be a skin pack with him that all the Kombat Pack people will get automatically, as well as, the day one part of the Kombat Pack being the Samurai Pack with all those skins as well.
Right. So we're very excited for that. So Jason Voorhees, of course, we showed today, and he'll be available.
Do you need to make a quick call? Or?
Oh, no, I hey, guys, my phone. I put that down there in case anything happens that goes awry, so I know. So everybody, I'm Tyler Lambs, down the community specialist here at NetherRealm Studios. Now, some good and some bad news. The bad news is Derek Kurtzik is at a wedding this week, so Derek can't be here. But in his stead, we have Mr. Sean Hemrick.
Right, I'm Derek, so you can tell the hat.
If you're wearing a dorky hat, you're dressing as Derek.
Yeah.
So, Sean, what do you do around here?
I'm the studio head, so I help everybody keep everything going as much as we can. Been here for quite a while. My first MK game was Shaolin Monks.
That's been a bit.
Yeah.
And you can fire me at any time during this stream.
I guess technically.
But let's not.
Yeah, I would want to at least ask a couple other people first.
Sure, that's fair. We also have some special guests. I just dropped my Coke here, sorry. My caffeinated beverage. My bad. We have two guests today. We got Mr. Brian Shard over here.
Hello.
And Dominic Cianciola. Is that good?
Cianciolo, but it works.
Oh, okay. Man, I've gone through the gauntlet with last names in these streams. So they actually worked on the Mortal Kombat story, and we're going to talk to them about that in a second. But before we get started, as we always say, this build is not our most current build, so there are some things on this build that could change before release. And release is a little over a month away, so we hope you're excited about that. Also, if you look down below, you'll see that you can follow us on Twitch, so please take a moment right now to follow us on Twitch. All right? That's enough time, I think, right?
Yeah.
Good, so we should just get started and get right into it. The title today is A Story 25 Years in the Making, which talks about how this story is 25 years after the last one. But before we get to that, Dom, you want to tell everyone who you are and what you do around here?
Sure. Again, my name is Dominic Cianciolo. I'm the cinematic director here at NetherRealm. I co-write and direct the story in the game, along with many, many other people. I've been here since Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe was the first one that I directed cinematics for, and then started getting involved with the writing in Mortal Kombat 2011, and also with Injustice.
All right.
I'm Brian Chard. I'm a sound designer here at the NetherRealm Studios. I've been here since back in the Midway days. I came in as a writer for sports game commentary.
That was new to me. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I help write the story along with our friends John Greenberg and John Vogel, of course. And I'm involved with the casting, the voice direction at the recording sessions, and work with Dominic to get the timing of the VO all set for the story.
Excellent. So before we go today, we're going to show you a little bit of the story, which people have been really excited to see. We're going to show you a little bit of Chapter 1, because as you know, Johnny Cage is now confirmed for Mortal Kombat X.
Yeah, I see him on your character selection.
He's on the character selection down there. So we're going to show you a little bit of the story here in a little bit, but first we kind of want to go through how it gets made.
Sure.
So first question, how do you start structuring a story like this? Like what structure are we looking at for Mortal Kombat X?
Well, the structure for the Mortal Kombat X story was inspired a lot by the second of the two Godfather films, in that we have sort of the main story, which is telling our primary adventure of dealing with Outworld and the civil war with Melina and Kotal Khan, and also the threat that then everyone faces. But at the same time, then taking spots within the story itself to do flashbacks to wrap up how the last story ended, what transpired based on the cliffhanger we left there, and then also allow us to get into the history of the new character we've added, and also find out how some of our older characters that are returning, what happened to them before we get to the main body of the story.
Right. And what I like about it too is there's a lot of people who've been playing this game for 20 plus years, and they know all of the characters we started with.
Yeah.
This is a really good place for those who may not have been known the Mortal Kombat universe to kind of come in with a group of characters that are kind of all their own, like Cassie in 20 years I remember when she started, so I think that's really cool. And then it's also helpful that it goes back and kind of tells them how we got to where we are after the storyline of Mortal Kombat 9, which you are more than welcome to go play again.
Oh yeah.
You can probably watch it on YouTube if you wanted to.
Probably could do that. I think there's a couple of sites like that as well. So someone can sit down with this without really knowing the lore and really get a good starting point here.
I would think so. We took great pains to try to make everything as clear as possible with the new characters and also what happened to the characters that were there before.
Gotcha.
So that somebody can jump in fresh and not have to worry about getting lost.
What excited you about having all these offspring characters? Some of them we haven't talked about yet, but then somebody like Cassie Cage. What's the exciting part about being able to write something like that?
Well, I mean, it was something we started in Mortal Kombat 2011 and then accelerated in this game was really contextualizing and providing well-rounded presentations of all the characters. So bringing the offspring in allowed us to see all these characters in a brand new way. I mean, Johny as a parent, Sonya as a parent, even some of the other announced characters as parents. And then it just helped to flesh it out and bring more emotion and more drama into the story.
Right. It's interesting you had mentioned too about what it's like giving Johny a daughter.
Yeah. I mean, certainly it's a very different situation with him as a son. You wouldn't necessarily see the same kind of growth with Johny sort of having this womanizing past. Now that he has a daughter to deal with, how does that change him as a person and perhaps mellow him out?
Right. And you, Brian, you have a lot, and we get a lot of great responses. You have a lot to do with the writing and putting together of all of the things they say to each other on walkout during the beginning of the match.
Yes.
What were some of the fun things about that? Like,
Well, it's, I enjoy writing for Johny and for Cassie because they're both smart Alex
Right.
and it's fun to see what comes out of their mouth. But, you look at certain relationships and you go, what could these two possibly have to say to each other? But, during the process I've discovered, and, everybody that helped write, there were a lot of us, we discovered that actually there are really cool, fun exchanges that you can have with two characters who might, on the surface, have nothing in common. So
you were able to do lore-based ones, some that aren't based on lore, just some fun stuff.
Yeah, there's some that's complete jokes. There are some that are canon. There are some that aren't canon. There are some that might turn out to be canon. So, yeah, some mentions of characters who are otherwise not in the game. All kinds of fun stuff. So.
And we've noticed that too, that there will be a lot of characters throughout the entire expanse of all of the world of Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Will maybe show up at times you don't expect them to.
They might.
So, could happen.
Yeah.
One of the funny stories you guys told me about was when you guys have, you have a writing team, and sometimes maybe not everyone's on board with the same idea.
It's hard to believe, but yeah. That happens.
Right.
Yeah. So we have a process by which we, the four of us, John, Dominic, and myself, come up with the story up into the part where we're actually writing the script, and then Greenberg goes off to solve our technical problems because he's that kind of genius. So the three of us, John and we, write the script, and so whenever it's 2-1, and it happens a lot, the loser who gets outvoted is said to be Detroit Rock City, based on the popular Kiss song. So not only do we have to say to you, the loser, you are outvoted, but we then have to go, da 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 da, and that.
You have to give them the riff as well.
Yeah, the riff.
Really
It doesn't
rub it
sing along.
in with the riff. Okay, yeah. Excellent.
I was just playing the other day and noted, I was like, oh, how is Cassie and that character that's not announced yet going to interact? And I was like, and then it happened. I'm like, oh, that's great. I would have never expected them to have a relationship.
Yeah.
There are times I'll go through it and I'll sit at my desk after work and I'll just pick characters and go, I don't know what they say, what do they say? And I'll start mixing and matching. And then a lot of them have there's more than one for a lot of them. So
Oh yeah, there's.
Yeah, I had to reload that match 5 times testing something, and I heard a whole bunch of different things in there. I remember seeing the email go out of hey, studio, anyone having ideas for these more connections? And I'm sure, I know a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people are like, here's a bunch for Johnny Cage.
Surprisingly, it was pretty balanced.
Really?
Yeah. People came up for conversations with people whom you wouldn't think they would jump right on.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, excellent. Is there any other sort of anything about writing or anecdotes you guys would like to add about sort of the process of creating what we've done here?
Well, I mean, the writing process itself is fueled by very dark chocolate constantly. That's what keeps us going through these hour-long meetings. We spend a lot of time in a room together, and it definitely helps.
And I think one of the hardest parts about being, as I've learned, doing community here, and Sean yourself as well on Twitter, you guys have to be very careful with the lore.
Yes.
Yeah, and there are lore requirements, there are gameplay requirements, because ultimately the story serves the gameplay. So there needs to be a balance among the opponents, number of times you fight them, the backgrounds, make sure you fight in every background, things like that. So
Excellent.
so it's a miracle it even gets written.
We can go real quick, Jen, to their social. These guys both have Twitter.
Yes.
We're
I'm
going to
new
show
to
that.
it.
You're a new twit.
Yes.
We're going to put it up on the screen. You can follow. And also we got Sean's there too, lover of tacos, because he loves tacos.
Okay.
And
There's no point in following me. I don't say anything.
so you can follow these guys and new to Twitter over here. So excellent. So right now we're going to show them a little portion of the story starting.
Sure.
It's not directly at the beginning, but it is part of chapter 1. So I will say that if you don't want to be spoiled, now would be a time to walk away for about 6 minutes.
What is chapter 1?
Yeah, there's a lot of people on Twitter who did not want to be spoiled, though.
Oh, well,
I'm giving them the option.
You've been properly warned.
You've been warned.
Set your watch, 6 minutes.
About 6 minutes. All right, guys? So we're going to play that now. And thank you guys so much for helping out. It's
Happy to be
great
here.
hearing about the story. I love hearing every part about how this is made. So this is great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Destination, dead ahead.
Set her down nice and easy for me.
Don't I always?
If by always you mean not once. Major?
All right, you have the rendezvous coordinates. Far edge of the forest. From there, we access the portal to Raiden's Sky Temple.
Where there's an angry former elder god and his devils waiting for us.
Gods, portals, flying demons.
Blind guys with magic swords.
The world has changed. For the worse if we do not expel Shinnok from Raiden's temple. He means to poison Earthrealm's life force, the Jinsei.
And we're not gonna let that happen.
Kenshi and I appreciate the Major allowing us to join you. We're happy to help kick Shinnok's bony ass back to the Netherrealm. You gotta land this thing!
The end is near. Getting a little ahead of yourself, aren't you? You should see your face. someone got a shot of that. Gotta get back to the chopper. Sonia, get out of there! Whew! That was unpleasantly cold. No autograph. Oh, should have worn mittens. I liked it better when we fought on the same side. You okay?
We fared better than the men.
Add him to the list of things Shinnok will answer for.
And welcome back. So there it is. That is a 6-minute snippet of Chapter 1. Not directly at the beginning, not directly at the end of the chapter, somewhere in the middle. So if you didn't want to be spoiled, it's time to come back, which you won't be able to see this, but come back now. We have 2 new guests, real quick. We have Dan and Andy.
Hello.
First of all, Dan, say hello to everyone.
Hi. I'm Dan Weiland. I'm the lead cinematic body animator here at NetherRealm. And I've been here for like 2.5 years. I came on in the last chunk of Injustice.
Awesome. Moving on.
I am Andy Sunasak, a senior technical artist on the cinematics team. I've been here for a little bit over 8 years, mainly specialize in our facial systems and pipeline and the fun stuff.
I buy sweet corn from Andy.
Yes, very good sweet corn. Only once a year though.
Once a year,
Yeah.
but I get it.
Yeah.
So they're here to talk. We got the body and we got the head. So everything is together
Yes.
now. We have
the Voltron of animation.
Yes.
right. So you guys are in charge. Well, not in charge, but you guys work together and make the
Story
story
mode.
mode
Correct.
happen.
Yep.
Story mode,
Exactly.
yes. Mm-hmm.
So just kind of explain. Let's just start from the beginning. Like how does it all work? What do you start with?
Sure. So once the script has been written by Dom and Brian and those guys, basically we start planning out how we're going to film everything. So we do 2D storyboards, kind of like comic books, and 3D animatics to figure out where the characters are going to be, where the cameras are going to be, and the different sets. Once we have that chunk, meanwhile, voice acting is going on. So all the voice actors out in California are recording the dialogue.
Shout out
for
to the voice
storyboard.
actors.
Yep. And once we have those 2 chunks, then we bring in talented actresses and actors and martial artists from around Chicago into the motion capture studio.
Shout out to the mocap actors.
Lots of shout outs.
Lots of shout outs.
Shout out to Andy.
Yep. And then, we put them in the kind of, you've probably seen it before, mocap suits, kind of like skin tight suits with what look like ping pong balls on them. And they act out the scene to the pre-recorded dialogue, and we take that motion, put it on the 3D characters, and animate on top of that.
You just push a button, there it is.
Done.
Magic.
Super easy. Yep.
Now I do want to talk to you because you and I went on a trip once here.
We did.
Down to a hardware store.
Yep.
Because you had to purchase some things to help with mocap. So kind of explain that, how the actors work with that.
Yeah, so when the actors are in the motion capture studio, it's just an empty room basically. So to kind of help them get in the groove and kind of inhabit the characters that they're playing, we try to provide as much of like the set and props as possible. So we have a bunch of weapons that they can use for the fighting stuff. We have weighted kind of rubber guns that they can use when they're shooting stuff at people or whatever. What we went to the hardware store for was to get a bunch of PVC piping and like a big plank basically, because we were building a jail cell for when Cassie and those guys are in the jail. We saw some of that in the first story mode trailer, and then we also built a carriage kind of platform for the scene, also in the story mode trailer, where Kodal was talking to Kano. Yep, and so we put him on this plank and kind of gently shook it back and forth to simulate the motion of a carriage.
Hey, we got a really good picture. You should show that.
We do have a good picture of that. We can't show it right now, but maybe we can throw that up on Tumblr at some point.
Ooh, Tumblr.
Because we do have a Tumblr account.
Tumblr?
What's Tumblr? Yeah, Tumblr. So we'll try to get that picture out to you guys. It's very cool. Yeah. Let's talk about facial animations now. So I know that from what you've explained to me, and I don't know anything about that stuff, you've kind of upgraded sort of how you do things now.
Yes, upgrade. It's all brand new and fun. We've revamped and upgraded our facial systems for MK10. Pretty much it just allows for more controllability. We're essentially mimicking the muscles that move in the face with our control rig system. There's that, and we have kind of like a cool new eye tech going on for more realistic, natural looking eyes. Just kind of push that next gen bar a little bit.
Now my question, because I know I've seen, we work very close to each other. You're like right across the way from me. We talk a lot of football.
Yes.
And I've noticed you have a mirror right beside your desk.
Yes, it's not just to look at my pretty face. It's also to work. I use myself as reference quite a bit, just looking at myself to generate different expressions and stuff like that. So I talk to myself a lot, so all these guys surrounding me sometimes can get a little bit annoyed, but they just got to deal with it.
So do you have a way, like also like if an actor is doing something, do you have close-ups of them too doing the same thing?
Yes. So as Dan mentioned, when the actors are doing all of their thing in motion capture, we actually are filming the actors for video reference to utilize when animating the facial.
That's awesome. Yep. Yeah, great. I think. Oh, this is a good question. We kind of talked about to Dom and Brian about this as well. Having the children of popular characters are now in the game. As animators, is there a way that you are able to kind of characterize them or give them sort of kind of go through that a little bit?
Yeah. So like as we're animating, we're taking the performances that the actors and actresses gave us in the motion capture studio and kind of polishing and enhancing those performances. When we can, we look for opportunities to add in little tidbits that kind of reflect the characters themselves. So like there's been opportunities where we've put in gestures or poses that Cassie does that are a reflection of something that Johny does somewhere else in the story mode.
It's like living with someone or being with someone for so long.
Yeah, kind of pick up their mannerisms and habits and stuff like that. And we try to get a little bit of that into the characters to better connect the families.
That's awesome. Great. Yep. So what we're going to do now, Rigo, our community manager, put together an awesome video that shows kind of a little bit of that helicopter ride that you saw.
Shout out to Rigo.
Shout out to Rigo. And they also, but he's added on top some facial stuff and some of the actual mocap at real time. So you can see how it looked when you did it and how it looks on screen.
Yeah, you'll be able to see our facial control rig kind of at work as well. So some pretty cool stuff.
Awesome. So I want to thank you guys so much for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Shout out.
Thank you, Sean.
Shout out to Sean. Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Jen.
Oh, I forgot to introduce Jen earlier. Jen, say hi.
Hello, everyone.
She's not happy that I forgot to introduce her. So we're going to show that video now. Thank you guys for helping out today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Destination, dead ahead.
Set her down nice and easy for me.
Don't I always?
If by always you mean not once. Major?
All right, you have the rendezvous coordinates, far edge of the forest. From there, we access the portal to Raiden's Sky Temple,
where there's an angry former elder god and his devils waiting for us.
Gods, portals, flying demons.
Blind guys with magic swords.
The world has changed. For the worse, if we do not expel Chinook from Raiden's temple. He means to poison Earthrealm's life force, the Jinsei.
and we're not gonna let that happen.
Kenshi and I appreciate the Major allowing us to join you. We're happy to help kick Shinnok's bony ass back to the Netherrealm. You gotta land this thing!
Cool. So that was a really great video kind of to show how it goes from mocap into actual story animation. And also kind of let us right into a thing we have now, these interactable story elements where you get to push a button when it tells you to. And what that will do is you can fail them, but it will never send you back. It'll change the way the fight works out. So maybe Johnny will get his ass kicked the whole time if you fail them all, or you can go back and forth. So there's a lot of ways to kind of direct how the fight turns out during the fight. But now, this is exciting. We got Mr. Mike Portillo here.
Everybody, how you doing?
Shout out.
Shout out to Mike Portillo. Yeah. He is here to kind of walk us through our newly announced character, Mr. Johnny Cage.
Yep.
So we're going to go through a bit of Johnny Cage's variations and kind of show you how he plays.
Can we select all costumes?
We can't today. Sorry.
There's some good ones.
There are some good ones. He has one in particular that's pretty damn good. So I'm going to, I'll pick Kano because I think there's some...
yeah, I'm a little partial to him, so we can select the fisticuffs variation here.
Let's do it in the, let's go to the market.
Okay. Why are those others grayed out?
Because we haven't shown them yet. Although you may have seen touches of them in some of our trailers.
Some of the trailers, yeah.
So we're going to do the intro and we will not talk over it.
Oh, you don't talk over the intro?
Yeah, we do not.
Oh, was that an issue for you?
What are you eyeing me for? So there's ice cream in Outworld, Chubby? That's your last go at me.
Round one.
It's probably an issue because you don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, we don't.
That's true. So you don't know that you're talking.
They don't realize that I can't hear anything.
So you're not stupid. It's just not here.
Well, so one thing you will first of all notice, like every variation, fisticuffs, there is a visual indicator to tell you which one you're using. Besides, up in the corner, he's wearing those.
Yep, he's got the brass knuckle bling on there.
The cage rings.
Both of his hands there. So
let's kind of get started and talk about what kind of moves are always with Johnny Cage.
Okay, so everyone should be familiar with his pretty traditional moves. He's got the fireball version. He's got the tried and true shadow kick there. He's got the classic punch there. EX punch by
results in a pop-up.
Yep, we get a pop-up off the EX. And then he's got, currently in this trade, he has this flip kick, or a variation I should say, he has another one more with it as well. He also has, you want to do the red?
Yeah.
One of the pretty unique things and very damaging things in this variation is that when Johnny Cage turns to danger mode, low health, he gets all of his red stuff. It's kind of the old glitch, not the older games where you get the random red shadow kick. We've actually protected the game to where it's almost kind of like a Easter egg. Yes, an Easter egg that, yes, that's true. So as he has this, he will get a new throw. Punch me one more time.
Yeah.
Oh. So he has a new throw here. I'll go ahead and give you down again. So as he's red, he gets more health, more damage on all of his moves. Go ahead and along his part.
We'll show real quick the stuff he kind of gets with fisticuffs.
Okay, so in his this variation, he has this buff. Cracks his knuckles together there, and you can see he's got the bling coming off his knuckles. While he has this, he does a chip damage increase. So if you want to block there, you'll see here's the 4. So there's the average. You can block that one.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see it's very minor.
Right.
And now when you activate this, it's pretty considerable there. So
yeah. So this Johnny Cage is a really good Johnny Cage too.
This will favor the rush down, the aggressor, someone who likes to stay on top of the opponent and not give him.
Because we know that from the old, Johnny Cage of MK9, getting in there in the corner doing some chip damage is really like where he shines.
Especially with the run mechanic, it's going to allow a lot more combos, especially to be able to run and get on the guy. For example, like this, see if I can charge that up. I can, after you knock down the guy, you can go right into the power up. You want to get me down? Show you.
Speak up a little bit for the guys there, Mike.
Sure.
No problem.
Do a couple more. Okay. So right here, he should. There we go. All of these. You notice the damage there? Pretty chunky. I'll go to block so you know.
Right.
But yeah, there.
R2. Right.
The EX shadow kick here. Full screen. It's hard to see that there, but it hits full screen.
And he also has a new string as well,
Yes.
which is really.
This is the
kill me.
coup de grace. This will kill you, but we'll show you. Right, we'll kill you with it. So I'll do it with it here. If you hold away and you do this, he kind of does a little flurry punch. Normally, you know, it's pretty devastating, but when you have this buff, it goes into super chip mode, and then you'll see. Yep, I'm down in danger there.
Yep. In the corner, that is just.
Yeah, you can do a lot of crazy, you know, classic MK juggle combos in the corner with that stuff when you have a full buff on.
So that's really good. Yeah, throwing the autograph down as usual. So that's a really good thing for guys who really like getting in there, rushing in, doing their damage, turning on chip, and ending a match real quickly.
Yep, just stay right on the guy.
Got two more variations to show you real quick. I've played with a lot of these variations, and they all are so good in different ways.
Yeah, they do a good job of catering to people's different styles. So we'll go with stunt double variation here. This is one of my favorites.
Johnny throws out the old call me here in a second. I don't know if Raiden has a phone.
He doesn't need a phone.
He just teleports.
He teleports.
Yeah.
You followed me. You need me here. Has anyone ever agreed with that statement?
Round one.
Sunglasses in.
Yep. Wearing the shades. This is called stunt double, and there's one major reason it's called that.
Yeah, and this one he does lose the flip kick, but he does gain this. He's got his little trusty stunt double there, which gives him 2 charges of his special moves, physical special moves. So he's got 1 shadow kick that he can shoot, or I can shoot my other one. I'm also able to follow them up. So say I were to shoot this out here, I can kind of chase after it. You know.
Right.
Let me get some. Let me get rid of this. So I get 2 charges. So like an example, pretty much after any kind of string, you might want to, you know, power yourself up right there, and you can do some pretty cool stuff. Pop you guy up, you know, charging, a little run combo like that.
Really cool.
Keep yourself safe.
I can't believe you hit that first try.
Me too. I practiced
really
that for
good.
like an hour. I was like, oh, went autopilot right there. Good times. Let's see. So he's got also his fireball. In this version, it stays straight. You no longer get the bar, but you still can do the punch when it gets easier. So in this one, you still get the double. Just accentuate it like that. So the mimic does allow for a lot of.
Yeah, and this one's great
a
too
lot of juggle
because
stuff.
I know, like when I play Cage, I always try to do wake up shadow kick all the time, and it's, you know, you're gonna get punished that way. But here, your shadow kick you can do it from mid screen.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things too. Like it's kind of you see a lot of projectile in here that's a single projectile or a single hitting move, and they throw it out.
I don't mind being you at all.
We were playing some matches with you guys the other day, and I haven't really put too much like serious time in the Cage started learning all of the intricacies.
Right.
But after these few days, I realized he's got a lot of cool mechanics in it.
Right.
Take advantage of it playing each other. But like, so you want us to do like a fireball or something? Let's see. Well, I wasted, but basically, like, if you were to zone someone out, he has a pretty much an instant, like, you know, get right next to me kind of move. I can, you know, full EX screen. But yeah, the Mimic adds a lot of great combos, a lot of juggle stuff. I mean, obviously, the MK corner stuff is pretty.
I'd frame that.
So that Johnny has a very good way of kind of, you can stay mid screen, but he also has some stuff to get in quickly.
Yep.
Using the mimic, all the mimics.
You get a lot of good juggles with the uppercut move. That's one thing I don't know if you want to show, but he does have that just uppercut regular, the mimic version. You also get, but that's one move that is added in that variation.
Good. Select new fighter here. We got one more variation, which I think is pretty awesome, and I think we're going to see a lot of stuff, maybe even out of the higher level community, using this one quite a bit too. I find these all very viable though.
Yeah, they all have their uses for sure.
Character slim slot. Is Johnny in the spot where mocap's supposed to be?
Oh, mocap. We're gonna get to that.
I think they took that out for this
We're
particular build.
We're gonna get to mocap here in a second. Okay. Did I know?
Nice to see ya.
Must everything be a joke?
Yeah, it does.
Round one. Fight.
We also have no idea what they just said.
I don't know what they said. I'll have to look at it later when we watch the stream. This is A-list Johnny Cage. Now, what can A-list do?
This is kind of a technical little trickster, kind of fake out maneuver variation. He still has the flip kick here, but most of the specials he can now charge and kind of dash cancel in and out of. So if I just do the regular flip kick, if I do the regular flip kick, you can't really juggle it. But if I get any kind of held version of it, it's easier to give me any kind of juggle. If I hold the full version, you get a pretty big combo. You know, you can do any kind of stuff after that.
Right.
Same thing, his away two, and his other trades just, or other variations, it just knocks the guy straight away. But in this one, you're also able to charge.
Charging his back punch too.
Yeah, and as well as being able to dash in and out, so you can kind of big wake ups and whatnot. So if I get it down there with that.
And also, like even his shadow kick in pool also is able to.
Well, shadow kick as well. I can hold that down.
So there's a lot of just tricky variations with this to keep going in and going for a throw, or actually throw the move out there.
For sure. The one big thing in this one that's going to create a lot of unsafe situations, make him safe if you got meter, is in this one his nut punch, it can be meter burn on reaction, like hit confirm. So normally in the other versions, if you EX the nut punch, you're pretty much committed to it, and if they block, you have to eat the recovery and potentially a big combo. But in this one, I see a hit, I can meter burn at any time, and go right into big damage. So you can kind of throw it out willy-nilly as long as you have a meter, your opponent has pretty much respect, you know, that you can't do this around.
Well, that was like a 6 nut punch, dude. Nice job on that.
Oh,
thank you.
Is that a thing?
Him hitting
Six times.
You might get rewarded for doing
Who knows?
a lot of nut punches.
You might.
You might do something for that.
So that's Johnny Cage right there in a nutshell. Now here's the sad news is since Derek is out, I asked him if Sean could take the belt in interim to fight me and get the belt, and Derek said, "No way in hell could you have the belt."
He has that kind of power? Well, he has the belt.
If you have the belt, you have the power. If you have the belt, you have the power. So there
unless I'm going to Dean Ambrose him,
steal it and go.
Yeah. But
so sadly, we cannot have the
do
fight.
Do we have like any intercontinental belt or
a U.S. champion?
A ladder match where he gets
So Derek, when he does come back, we will see me getting my ass whipped by Derek again, which is always fun for everybody. So real quick, we're gonna answer some questions, I guess.
Yes. Finally
gonna answer some questions, and Sean's here for that, and Mike, you can sit around here too and hang out. Real quick, Mike has a Twitter as well. It's at ZugZug, Z-U-G.
2 G's, Z-U-G-G, Z-U-G-G.
Oh, is it 2 G's?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
ZugZug with 1 G is a woman in
you don't want that one.
Maryland. She's a soccer mom, but
you don't want that one.
I kid one today. Also, last time we had, sorry, Andy, did we show theirs? Did I forget to show theirs as well? We did show theirs? Good. So you can follow all of them on Twitter and find them. Definitely follow at NetherRealm. That's important because that's where we give all the information out. So a couple questions. Phil995, we've had a question from him before, actually. Good old Phil. Will story mode scenes be available for later viewing?
Yes.
They absolutely will. We're not going to say where, but they can be viewed later. So you can always go back and watch the story mode little sections you've enjoyed.
Completed.
Yeah. We'll be able to choose variations in your story mode. You will not be able to. We're kind of to go with the story. We're picking variations that are going to make sense.
It's part of the story.
For the story. Yeah. So you'll learn those that way.
Just like we don't let you pick characters, it tells the story.
Right.
We'll start with the variations.
The variations are just as much as important. So, battle scars. People were wondering. It's Ermac 121, a man after my own heart. Ermac. Do we have battle damage? Yes, there's a ton of battle damage.
A lot.
Yeah, I think better than the battle damage. Not better than, but the thing that makes it better is. That's the one we're currently in. It's a bad example, but a lot of the backgrounds you can see, like in the dusty ones, you'll start to see the dust collect, or in the jungle, you'll start to see the water,
some mud and water.
Specific types.
There's definitely like if there's people who cut, there's little gashes.
Yeah, it's actually pretty. I wouldn't say exactly accurate, but close to accurate to where the damage is actually being taken.
You can select a lot of different types of cuts and based on the weapons they're using and the types.
Yeah, it's a lot of work some people had to do to every move. That move damages here.
Right. But
shout outs to Evan for doing that.
Evan, shout out. So it's funny because sometimes I'll play by myself and I'll be practicing. I'll practice for a long time, and I haven't reset, and the character's just like covered. It's awesome though looking. Another thing, this is big. This is something big we're going to do right now. People have been asking for some more deconfirmations of characters, and I spoke with Ed today, and we would like to deconfirm a character. I know last time we did Jade. Mocap. Oh, see, I thought you guys were doing an email bit. I didn't know that was going to be on the stream. I feel bad doing that joke earlier.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It still works. So Mocap, RIP 2015. Mocap will not be in the game. Of course, we tried to have him in the game. His variations were much too strong. He would have been a tournament favorite for years to come, throwing the mocap balls.
I like that you imply that we built that entire character. That
And he
determined
got
he was
rid of-
overpowered.
We must remove mocap from the
Never
game.
mind.
So-
9 months worth of effort. Toss it aside.
And of course, we just couldn't fit mocap into the story. It just didn't
he's a
make- real tough go with the story. So mocap will not be appearing in Mortal Kombat X.
Was that a question?
People just want us to
know it?
deconfirm some more characters.
Okay.
So this time it's mocap. Will we unlock a character at the end of story mode?
Yes.
Yes, you will.
Can I say who?
No, you can't.
Can I say who?
Same as Sean, you can't. No.
All right.
Jen, you can't either. Sorry.
She did, but you couldn't.
She's
hear.
mouthing
Yeah,
it.
she's telling
She's
us
saying
right
it.
now. Another question is people want to know how long of a story mode do we have, and it's very substantial. I'm not going to say how many chapters there are, but if you remember, no spoilers. Mortal Kombat 2011 was quite a beefy story. You can expect something very similar to that. It's a good, well-portioned, long story.
Yeah, when you watch the whole thing, it's such a movie now. The guys, everybody, I mean, even the tech guys who helped with the tools to make it look so great. On top of all the cinema team and the script guys, it just looks like you're watching a movie. I forget a lot of the interactive story elements because I'm just watching like a movie. I'm like, oh.
Right. And I've actually played the helicopter scene a couple times. So, talking about interactive stories again, where I can see how, you can make it so you miss them all. So Johnny Cage's just getting his ass kicked. And then you win the last one. And
right, it's a different story if you...
It's a different arc to the fight if you keep missing different ones. And they're all totally different animations. And it's really cool to see. And there's quite a few of those in the game.
Like the unicorn one.
Oh, right. Unicorn, confirmed. Also, Matt Jones, big fan of Mortal Kombat, a big fan of the studio. It was his birthday the other day, so we've been giving out some birthday shout-outs, so that's a birthday shout-out to you, Matt.
Shout out.
Shout out. You know what? That is the questions we have today. So I think we're done with questions.
Terrific.
I want to thank you, Mike, first of all, for coming out to show us some JC. I know that you don't play a lot of them. You do now, obviously, because you're a Scorpion guy.
Yeah. When we played our matches, we had to pick someone who's like, I need to win, and I go with Scorpion.
Right.
But I have a personal favorite.
Well, I'll tell you what, once the game launches, we'll do some play with the community, and we'll get you in here to play some Scorpion against them. Cool. Sound good?
Cool.
And Sean, you can come in too, play with a character that is not yet announced. So we're going to let you all go. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
We'll have a stream very, very soon. I know that the second this stream ends, you're going to tweet us all about when is the next stream. Mm-hmm. Just give me a day. Just one day. Just give me some pause. Maybe.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's them. Just give us the day. It'd be easier. Wouldn't it be easier if you just gave them a day?
It sure would, but we don't have that for you quite yet. But next time we have some really cool stuff to show you, and I know we have shown quite a few new characters from our story stream that you want to see them played. We're going to give you that really soon. Today we wanted to really focus on Johnny, and we did. And don't forget, Jason's coming out. Game's out in like a month. That's really good. So thank you all for joining us on this Kombat Kast. Hope you enjoyed the story and all of our guests. And next time we have some pretty cool stuff to show you and let you know really soon.